What's going on? Welcome back to the channel. So today when I talk to you about NIO, I want to go over some of the data points, break it down on what really moved in, go over everything else you need to know. But first, make sure you hit that thumbs up. And with that, let's get right to it. So NIO did close 17.04% in the green, 472 the low, 533 the high, and you had a lot of volume. So 161.5 million shares being traded, whereas 59 is the average. So I did a video earlier this morning, a pre-market one, where I went over the registration numbers and brought up this. So essentially, when it comes down to them announcing their earnings, which is slated for March 21st, that's going to be their Q4 and also full 2024, I think that this really set something off inside NIO. So you had a lot of different factors that really aided in it going up. And on a side note, I believe today is the third largest day, kind of green day that NIO has ever had. So March 16th, 2022, they had a 25.6% increase. November 30th, 21.7%. And then today does mark the third largest day that they moved up. But essentially, I feel like this news, as well as just the Chinese economy, recent very good data coming out, and then you had also this morning a couple articles just bringing up Chinese stocks and how they are at a crazy deal. And NIO was actually brought up in many of those articles because even if you compare just Chinese EVs, not even focusing on American ones, NIO is at a crazy discount. So looking at the PS ratio, 1.1 is the PS, future 0.8. If we look up Lee, which they do have their earnings this week on a side note, but 1.4 is the current, and then 1.1 is the future. And then XPeng, very, very overpriced in comparison, but 4.2, and then 2.5 is the future. So when it comes down to even comparing it to XPeng, just based on what they put for sales, like technically NIO is at a 4x discount in comparison. So it's crazy. So I think today was more of a reset. What did actually happen? Maybe today was what the market feels this is what it should be truly worth, and then come March 21st, depending on the results, then it could of course appreciate. As I brought up in my earlier video, I think the implied move is roughly around 10% in either direction, so that's what you could potentially expect for their earnings. But yeah, I think today was a good day overall. When it comes down to shorts, so 2 times per month, the actual exchanges do disclose the true amount of shares that is being shorted. It is always delayed, so they did announce the new update today. So as of February the 28th, so it's delayed information of course, but as of February the 28th, there was 214.3 million shares overall are being shorted, and that works out to be 16.05% of the free float. So what Ortex and a couple other platforms do, they take this information, calculate it up to present day, and this is how you get right now 16.01% of the free float. So ultimately, if we kind of look at this, that means between February the 14th and February the 28th, it's essentially shorts added roughly around 16 million shares, more than what was previously kind of known. So kind of crazy. Shorts have been all over NIO more than what we thought, and during that time frame, NIO tried many times to break out, but regrettably it was always just not enough, and now we know clearly what caused it. But looking right here, you had 18 million in calls, 3.71 in puts. 53% of all the options being done today were optimistic in nature. And as well, you can kind of see a lot of volume. So 22 million in total premiums. Very good put/call ratio for the last little bit. You can kind of see that there was a little bit more optimism. So I think people knew that NIO was going to go higher. Just the question was when. So good to see it finally move higher today. But based on this, so you do see for a consensus for now it to be around that $16 range, and then the bears are anticipating for it to be sub 450. So good to see it finally break off that kind of $4.55 optimism. So now it is anticipated for it to be 6. These are all the transactions occurring on the secondary market, and for those of you that watch my NIO videos every day, you sometimes see maybe 1, 2, on occasion 3. This is definitely big money getting into NIO. So a lot of big transactions. And then dark pool, this has been like crazy today, absolutely insane. So almost roughly about 400 transactions just today alone. So definitely good to see. Maybe bad thing about dark pool is it is often enough linked to shorting and other large entities, so sometimes it's not always the greatest. But with it closing at $5.22, it is trading between this R2 and this R1. So 502 is going to be the next strong kind of support. 528 is going to be the next strong target / resistance, which should be tested early on tomorrow if this momentum is going to continue. So let me know your viewpoint on that. No new analyst ratings, nothing along those lines, but today it did break above all the key pivotal moving averages. So it is now above the 50, 100, and 200-day moving averages. Stochastic RSI is kind of still oversold, so it is at 28. So again, you could see a nice continued push higher when it comes down to the technicals. So yeah, pretty exciting day. I think, like I said, this was well past due. So it attempted to break out in December, beginning of December, end of December, beginning of January, end of January, early February. Like, it's been long past due. Finally good to see it break past, and not just that, but stay above that. So yeah, let me know your general thoughts on NIO in the comments below. Is there any other things that have come out aside from the registration numbers and them announcing their Q4 earnings that you feel is worthwhile? That really attributed to it going higher. So let me know your thoughts on that. What's your viewpoint on, I guess, shorts essentially increasing like 16 million shares more than what we thought between February the 14th and the 28th? Do you think that this is going to finally prompt a short squeeze, or do you think that shorts might learn their lesson and kind of return a little bit leading into March 21st? What's your kind of 2 cents on all that? Don't forget to hit that thumbs up and subscribe. I always greatly appreciate that. But one final thing, pop over to my Patreon and get buy signals on stocks, options, and crypto. Many of them have been absolutely on point and bangers. Definitely worthwhile to pop over there and take a look. With all that, appreciate all of you watching.